Planet X TV.
All right, Planet X, we're chilling with our special guest this week, Mark Price. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. Firewire Surfboards here on Planet X. Let's check it out.
Only here on Planet X.
All right, guys, back here on Planet X, chilling with Mark Price. He's going to get into what the difference of this board is. The technology on this thing is incredible. Mark, let me hear it.
Well, it's quite different from a traditional surfboard. You know, if you look back over the last 30, 40 years, the shape of surfboards has changed a lot, but the materials have barely moved at all. And we came into the market and decided that we wanted to build a better mousetrap, and we came up with a completely different method of building surfboards. It had been done in small quantities with some backyard builders, so I don't want to claim that we invented it, but we certainly commercialized it and brought it to the broader surfing population.
So this board right here is much different than you guys. This board right here would normally weigh a few pounds. This thing is light as a feather. You want to tell me how that's possible?
Yeah, if you look at the cross-section at the top of the table, the interior foam is 1 pound per cubic foot density, whereas on most surfboards, the interior foam is around 2.5 to 3 pounds. But 1 pound foam has no structural integrity. It's light, but it basically, cannot support a surfer.
Yeah.
So we sandwich it between these deck skins of Paulownia wood, which gives it the structural integrity. So you get the best of both worlds. You've got a super light surfboard that's actually stronger than a traditional surfboard. So it broke open that sort of paradigm with a traditional surfboard where in order to make it lighter, you had to make it weaker.
So now even the wood itself is eco-resistant. Tell me more about that.
Well, Paulownia wood is very fast growing. You can harvest it in as little as 5 years. And we buy it from a plantation that is certified sustainably grown Paulownia. So it has a real eco component to it, and you're not cutting down old growth trees to obviously build the surfboards.
Firewire coming up in the technology game to help the whole environmental out. Guys, right here on Planet X. All right, Planet X, we're back with Mark Price from Firewire Surfboards. He's going to talk about the resin. Now, I want to know more about the actual board and the resin. What's up with that?
Well, surfboards are either built with polyester resin or epoxy resins, and both of them are pretty toxic. That's just the way it is. You know? And we recently switched our entire production about a year ago to bioresin, which is still toxic. I don't want to present it as if you could drink the stuff, no. But it's infinitely less toxic than polyester resin. And we're the only global surfboard company that only uses bioresin across all of our surfboards.
And where are we putting that on the board?
Everywhere. You know, it's the deck skins are sandwiched with resin and cloth to attach them to the core foam, and then there's a very lightweight exterior lamination on the surfboard just to waterproof it. So not only are you getting a lighter weight, more durable surfboard, but we're actually using less materials as well. There's about a 20 to 25% reduction in resin and cloth usage because of the strength of the deck skins.
It sounds like a win-win situation with the bioresin there, Mark.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we're proud of what we've accomplished. There's still a lot more to do, but we've taken some pretty tangible steps towards building a lot less toxic surfboard.
So is there any future with this? I mean, it sounds like you guys are already so futuristic. Where do we go from here?
There's actually some real interesting developments going on right now with foam. There's some foam derived from sugarcane, from algae. There's higher recycled content foams. There's new, even higher bio-content resins coming out. So it's really exciting, and being completely vertical and owning our own factory, we're able to adopt these things really easily because we're not working through some third-party factory that we have to try and convince to adopt these products.
Sure. So that's Firewire surfboards taking the technology to the whole nother level. I mean, you don't hear any other companies doing this, Mark. This is something I think the environment is going to appreciate. Us boarders are going to appreciate. I know San Diego is going to appreciate that coming up here real big. Is there anything else about the board we should know?
It also flexes a lot more than a traditional surfboard, and we feel whether it's parabolic skis or snowboards or skateboards,
Sure, okay.
Flex is a real part of the performance of those products, and why would surfboards be any different? But when you put a piece of wood down the center of a surfboard, the stringer, it reduces the flex dramatically. So we removed that, as you can see from the cross section, and we moved the wood to the outside rails, the perimeter of the board, and that increases the flex characteristics, which enhances performance.
Performance, technology, Firewire's got it going on right here on Planet X. Will be more right after this.
Planet X TV. Planet X TV.
So, Mark, this is obviously not our typical surfboard. I mean, at least here in San Diego that I've seen around. What's up with the shape?
Well, I think we're in an incredibly exciting time in surfboard design right now. If you go back to the 90s, everyone was on real rocket-out potato chip surfboards, and which probably didn't suit 95% of the surfers out there. But
depleted the surf population.
definitely, and these days, it's about having fun. And I think surfers are much more open-minded to what types of designs they want to ride. And from a design perspective, I think it's one of the most innovative times in the history of surfboard design.
This thing looks fast. It's super light. What other designs we have going on?
Well, we work with Daniel Thompson of Tomo Surfboards, who's an incredible surfer and designer, and his boards are literally futuristic, and they look completely different to anything else out there, but they're unbelievably practical to ride and perform incredibly well. So one of the beauties of our business is we're not tied to any particular shaper. And we have a technology production platform that we can plug different designers into and bring different shapes to market in our technology, and it's working really well.
The technology of this surfboard is crazy. There's been a lot of other technology to create artificial waves. I want to hear your opinion on that.
It's a really interesting topic because, obviously from a purely commercial perspective, we're looking at potentially more customers. If you can build waves inland and guys start surfing, they're going to want surfboards. So on that, by that measurement, it's hard to argue against it. I think you also have to look at the quality of the waves being produced. And I think that until we get waves that are comparable to the ocean in terms of speed and power, I don't think the wave pool concept is really going to come of age. So there's definitely some technical barriers that need to be overcome, but there's certainly a market for it. I think it is going to change the nature of the sport. I mean, there's been this debate forever: is surfing an art or a sport? And to me, it's both. It's both.
Yeah,
and the wave pool thing caters to the sport side of it. And it's up to everyone else to continue to make sure that the art side of it remains relevant.
So have you been on an artificial wave?
I actually have. I've surfed one in Spain, and it was a blast. It's totally credible.
Are you riding your board here?
Not this particular one, but something similar.
All right, Planet X, something that I've been wanting to ask Mark since he's been getting in here. I want to know more about Mark. He's got so much going on for Firewire, his past history with Gotcha. Mark, pro surfer, what's going on right now?
Well, I did compete on the world tour back in the day, sleeping in my board bag and barely making ends meet. But I got to see the world, and which would never have been possible any other way. So I'm really grateful for that experience. And I'm stoked to see the progression of professional surfing. I think that if you're one of the best in the world at what you do, no matter what it is, assuming it's legal, you should be able to make a ton of money doing it. So I'm stoked where pro surfing is today, and I'm stoked to see those guys earning the kind of money that they make.
And you're coming in from Durban, Africa originally. Where you headed towards now? Where are you residing now?
I live in Solana Beach in San Diego, and we've been there for 13 years. I love it. It's got a small town mentality. The waves are good. It's just a cool place to live. So I'm very stoked to be in San Diego County.
And this is always a tough question for our local surfers here. But do you have a favorite surf spot right now?
Wherever the least people are.
Of course, yeah.
That's my favorite spot.
So Mark's not going to tell you where he surfs, you guys.
Not exactly.
All right, Planet X, you don't know Mark's history here. He's got a big history with Gotcha, doing it all. I mean, they were the leader of the industry, way advanced in what the stuff they were coming out. What's up with that? What's going on now?
Well, it's impossible to talk about Gotcha without mentioning Michael Thompson. I worked there for 12 years, and Michael and his partner Joel founded the company, and he was a true visionary. I mean, he set the tone with the marriage of art and music and fashion with surf culture. And when you see brands like Volcom today having similar success, it started back in the day with Gotcha, and it was an incredible learning experience. The company grew from 1.5 million to 100 million in basically 8 years. And if you look at the size of the action sports market back in the 80s, 100 million in sales back then is probably $1 billion today. The market's infinitely greater. But it was more, as I mentioned, the creativity that the company had, the cast of characters that we worked with, from Peter Schroff to John Van Hammersveld. I mean, just really interesting people. And Michael was crazy in this really constructive way, and it was an amazing experience.
The leaders of the industry.
One of the leaders for sure, no question.
Mark has his history of being leaders of industries. I think Firewire is going to be a leader. Guys, right here on Planet X.
To give it or get rid of that feeling.
All right, guys, back here on Planet X with Mark Price. He's going to tell us the latest going on with Firewire. What's up?
Well, earlier this year, we were incredibly fortunate to have Kelly Slater invest in our company, which was, quite literally a dream come true, to have arguably one of the world's greatest surfers invest in one of the coolest surf companies in our view. So it's been a really good partnership, and we're only just getting started. So I'm very excited about what we're going to accomplish going forward with Kelly's involvement and his stature and the platform that we already have in place. So it's an amazing time within the company. There's just a ton of energy and real forward-looking, long-term decisions being made, and we're stoked.
Where can I find out more about Firewire surfboards?
Well, you can, obviously follow us on Instagram and Twitter and on Facebook, and our website at firewiresurfboards.com. We put out quite a lot of content on our site. You can learn a lot about the technology and the various shapes and the designers that we work with. It's pretty much all there.
Firewiresurfboards.com. Click it, view it, go check it out, Planet X. Chilling this week with my special guest, Mark Price, CEO of Firewire Surfboards. Let's go ahead and take a look.
I want to lay down with you. Feel your warmth against my skin. She's just chasing shadows.
All right, Planet X, we're in the beginning of setting up operation in Durban, South Africa right now. Mark, you know all about it. Let me hear what's Durban about? What's over there? Why Durban?
Well, back then there was an amazing place to grow up as a surfer. There were about 8 beaches, starting with Pump House at the south end all the way up to the Bay of Plenty at the north end, where all the best surfers were. And you literally had to start at Pump House, and as you improve, slowly progress up from one beach to the next. And if you kind of got a little ahead of yourself and tried to jump 2 or 3 beaches before you're ready, you got chased back from where you came. I remember my first surf at the Bay of Plenty. I got chased out of the water by a guy my own age, to like get back to Dairy Beach, which was a couple beaches back, and I left. But once you got there and you found yourself in the company of Sean Thompson and Paul Nordee and Michael Thompson and Kevin Todd and Bruce Jackson, unbelievable surfers, it was the most incredibly competitive environment to improve your surfing. And at the same time, there was this amazing camaraderie because you all had basically paid your dues to get there. Sure, yeah. And there's a real sense of team, of belonging to that beach. It was really cool.
What's the community of Durban like?
It's changed a lot since when I was growing up, and to be perfectly candid, I feel that the changes that the country has gone through are for the better. There's no way that the apartheid system should have been allowed to continue, and I'm glad that it's been dismantled. It doesn't mean that the country's problems are behind them. They've got serious problems going forward, but at least there isn't this fundamental inequality and this basic apartheid system is not there by law. There's economic apartheid there, which there is in every country, but it's not legislated, and I think that's a huge difference for the better.
Any plans of going back anytime soon?
Well, I go to Jeffreys Bay every year, and if you've ever been there, you'll know why.
Yeah. That sounds like I'm gonna have to work on my south end and work my way up on those known beaches over there.
Yeah, I don't know if that hierarchy is still in place. It's probably been dismantled, but back in the day, it was real.
It's the old school guys like the Mafia Beach. You got to earn your surf spot, literally earn your surf spot. Mark Price, again, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. You guys, Firewire Surfboards right here on Planet X. Go ahead and check it out.
Tells you to forget those dreams, and no one can tell you what they mean. As everyone orders another round, you are caught at the center of sound, contemplating this way of living. To give in or get rid of that feeling.
If you wish to appear on Planet X TV or to get more information, please email us at info@planetx.tv.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Planet X is brought to you by Super Shuttle, the official transportation partner for Planet X TV. When you need a lift, think Super Shuttle.
This special edition of Planet X is brought to you by Gigtown, your web resource for all things music. You can check it out at www.gigtown.com.
Planet X is brought to you by the Inn at Sunset Cliffs, here in beautiful Ocean Beach, California. Here's the website. Check it, book it, use it, you'll love it.
Only here, only here, only here, only here.
Only here.